down and moved to China. Sounds like a victory for China, right? This dominance had an unseen, ugly side. China's rare earth monopoly didn't just attract global manufacturers, it also came at a massive human and environmental cost. With unregulated mining, toxic waste, and widespread air and water pollution, rare earth production turned into a public health disaster. By the year 2000, China had 247 cancer villages, especially in mining regions. The cost of rare earth dominance was being paid in human lives. In response, Beijing started shifting gears. China began imposing production and export quotas, not just to reduce pollution, but also to tighten control over global supply and push for higher value processing within the country. These quotas created a kind of two-tier pricing system. Rare earths sold within China were cheaper, while exports to the rest of the world became limited and expensive. But there was another unexpected consequence. The quotas sparked a booming smuggling industry. By the mid-2000s, analysts estimated that up to 30% of China's rare earth exports were illegal, smuggled out to meet soaring demand from Japan and the US. In fact, a 2012 Chinese media investigation compared the rare earth industry to drug trafficking, saying there are generally two types of people who can deal with rare earths. Someone who has just been released from prison, and someone who can get someone out of prison. Those who are not afraid of death, and high-level officials. They're all involved. Realizing the loopholes, China changed its strategy. Instead of controlling export volumes, China began deciding which companies could operate at all, tightening controls from inside the industry itself. Chinese authorities launched a campaign called 1+5. An ambitious and often ruthless plan to shrink the entire rare earth industry down to just 6 giant companies. Officials even referred to it as their secret war against illegal production. Starting in 2011, provincial authorities carried out surprise audits of mines, seizing illegal ore and byproducts, and, when necessary, blowing up and destroying illegal mining operations. Within just 4 years, China declared victory. Dozens of small mining and refining companies were shut down, and these surviving firms were merged into 6 massive, mostly state-owned corporations called the Big Six. Through the Big Six, Beijing could now control both the supply and the price of rare earths, cementing China's unmatched dominance in the global market. And the strategy worked perfectly. Companies around the world had no choice but to follow the supply, moving their manufacturing and partnerships to China just to survive. That is why Tesla didn't just go to China for cheap labor. It built its massive gigafactory in Shanghai, opened in 2020, because it needed unlimited access to neodymium and dysprosium, 2 critical rare earths used in EV motors. Tesla has since signed long-term supply contracts with Chinese firms, not just for magnets, but also for lithium, and they are not alone. Apple, GM, Volkswagen, Siemens, Hitachi, all have either moved manufacturing, formed partnerships, or kept critical supply lines in China because